And now, for your listening pleasure, straight out of Milwaukee, the least talked about podcast in Wisconsin, Hip or Critical, with your guides, Alexa MKE and Shock the MoKE, MOKE. Hi, Alexa, where we praise and vent on all things that in the end, what, Alexa?
Oh, they just don't matter.
That's right.
All righty.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
A lot of things happened in the last couple of weeks, or has it been kind of a COVID shutdown in 2 weeks?
Well, I went camping, but we'll talk about that later.
Ah.
So, yeah.
Good. So you got out. That's good.
Yes, I was out in nature. Nature.
Who's the guy, Wilford Brimley, right? The one that ate the grape nuts and all that? He had the big...
No, nuts? I don't know. Who was the one who did pine trees are edible?
Yeah.
I don't think that was Wilford Brimley. That was some other guy. So, yeah. Did you see the Dune trailer?
No, I don't. When something like this comes out good, I avoid those things. I avoid trailers like the plague. I do. And I'll catch it, somewhere, and I'll look at it, and I'll be watching it maybe with the sound off or something, and I'm like, no, I'm not putting the sound on.
Yeah,
But you enjoyed it.
Oh my God. They don't give anything away. I read the book. Like, the book is this thick,
Right.
Like,
What did you think of the very first Dune movie, then? Well, let's just talk about the first Dune try.
The first Dune movie, I think they focused on weird stuff.
It takes the spice of the life.
Yes. Well, the thing is, I think they focused on weird things. Like, even, the things my husband remember. Oh, they were drinking their pee because they would filter their pee, and that would be...
recycle it through their nose, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, they focused on that type of stuff, and it really is a political, religious, like, there's a lot of undertones, and they just kind of missed the mark with that. And even like, having Sting in it is like a little
Sting
weird.
Flying around. I remember the guy getting his boiling pusses vacuumed out, like with a.
See, that's the type of stuff they focused on, and the trailer just I put in the show notes. It gave me goosies. It's like I actually got goosebumps because it's like, oh, this is gonna be good. So I'm hoping it lives up to the trailer because in the trailer they have a Hans Zimmer remix of Eclipse from Pink Floyd. So.
Oh. Okay, well, good. Well,
really
again,
good.
you know my stance on reading the books. Reading books. I don't read books because they ruin the movie, and that's what you keep happening to you. So I don't read books.
I read books. I read as many books as possible, as often as possible, and I don't read as much as I'd like lately. But
and you're let down by movies that are adaptations all the time, I imagine.
I am, but the thing is I have a very vivid imagination, and so I see things as I read them, and so
Right.
I get my interpretation
Exactly.
of it.
That's why I don't read the books.
Oh, jeez, Dave.
So anyway, next we were going to talk about this, right?
What, football being back? No.
Hey, 2 weeks ago, I swear we were on this thing. Did we even talk about the Packers playing over the weekend? We didn't. 2 weeks ago.
Well, no. 2 weeks ago, because this is only their second week playing, so we didn't talk about them. But we're all Packers fans. It goes without saying we're watching Packer games.
Right, but it was such a quiet rollout. You know what I mean? Usually we're always bitching about the preseason games, or
that's true.
And all of a sudden it was like, oh, God, football's on this weekend. It's so. Yeah, and the Packers have shown the moments of greatness. So this is some goodness going here. I like it.
That defense. Mike Pettin's done better than Dom Capers, but that defense still needs to stop allowing points. It's like no points. I mean, that's how you win games.
Like 75 to 40 in points. I mean, come on now.
No, I don't care what we get in points as long as the other team doesn't get. We can only get 10 points if the other team gets 0. We still win the game. So.
Well, so there has to be a certain amount you'll allow the defense.
Oh no, no points. The other team gets no points. Everyone needs to be a shutout.
Well,
and see
that you're so reasonable in your request, Miss Alexa.
Well, I kind of take everybody kind of pans on Bill Belichick, but I kind of take his thing. the defense should allow no points, and our offense should get all the points. There's no in between. That's how you win games.
What I've seen is something that we all know the old guy that was in the place, the coach did not do, is keep his foot on the pedal even when you're ahead. Those fourth quarters, it's like we didn't do nothing. Third, It's like we got ahead and we went into non-prevent defense. So
see, and I hate that.
Yeah, now when we went to the Super Bowl, we were doing this. We were doing the 42s, the 35s. We are getting those points. Now we're back to that, which that's what I think so far in the 2 games I've got under my belt. That's what I see is that he's keeping the pedal, to the floor. Like you said, we should get all the points. They should get none, but let's keep rolling it up.
To me, that's a happy medium. We get all the points, they get none.
I don't care. Listen, it's the old, hey, bring a knife to a gunfight. If they're going to score 3 and you score 7, we'll do this all day. Let them score. Let them take up time. If we're doing 7 and they're doing 3, if we're doing 14 and they're doing 7, we'll keep this up all day. Who cares? Till time runs out and we'll be ahead at the end.
We just got to be ahead at the end and no stupid mistakes. And it looks like, we've had some really bad injury years. I don't know if they got some new conditioning coaches, but then we already had 3 injuries.
Again, these are the first full-on contacts. You have to understand these guys would have gotten knocked around maybe in the second preseason game and then
healed. They would have been injured then. So.
Well, but they'd have been healed for the opening. They would have known. You know what I mean? They would have gotten that racked around sometime. Maybe.
Oh, we'll see. Coulda, coulda, shoulda. Let's just keep winning. We got 2 under our belt, 2-0.
Also have, as long as we're talking football, the Badgers are actually going to do it. They're doing an 8-game season. We've heard now, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Badgers in a bit. We're kind of talking about our other stuff. So, did you watch The Boys? Because I finally watched.
God. I finally asked for them not to give them all of them to me at one time, and now I have to wait every freaking Friday for a new one.
It is what it is. I'm stoked. We binge watched. We caught up this weekend, so I'm stoked. I like the direction they're going. It's not pat. You know what I mean? There's some twists and turns, and I kind of like that.
Right. They're exploring now, and that's what I'm like. I'm like, oh, it's boring. They're exploring everything now. Oh,
Oh, come on. Heads exploding and hands getting
season. Well, no, I'm sorry, and I'm being overcritical because it's just because it's like anything. The first season was such a shock. The stuff that they were doing, in front of you. I mean, when the first death you see is a disintegration by a speedster going through someone, and he's looking down, holding the hands of
with the blood, and he's covered. Yeah, I know.
And it's still going up, and I'm like, oh, where do we go from here? And then later on, the dolphin going out the front window. That was great. So. There was a lot to come up with, and then knowing that Homelander's a dick, and you know what I mean, with mommy issues.
Oh my God, Homelander is have you seen the pictures of the guy not in Homelander as his headshot for acting?
No.
He looks like a normal, good-looking guy. He does not look incredibly creepy, and
he transforms himself at all in a good facial. He's got it in him somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm really digging the character development because we didn't get all the character development in the first season. We're starting to get more character development in the second season, and we've got our new character, Stormfront or whatever her name is, and I think she's really interesting.
The girl from the old days is still living.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, that girl, I'm watching her and I'm going, where do I know her from? And remember I talked about a show a long time ago, You're the Worst? And she was the girlfriend on You're the Worst. And it's funny, it's like they took her character there and gave her a super, because she was a screwed up character there. They put her in here as a super. Hey, use your same character. We're going to make it a superhero now.
There you go. Well, I didn't read the graphic novels, so I don't know, whether they're being really true to the graphic novels. I mean, I say read everything. Well, I don't read everything.
I know. It's all new to me.
Yep, all new to me too. So, but yeah, so you were, you said you are watching Watchmen?
I still have not gotten off my superhero kick, unfortunately, I guess, after all the superhero stuff. I'm still watching. Yeah, I started checking out Watchmen, which I think has been very good.
It's got real good buzz. People are really liking Watchmen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so little about the the superhero part of it, because they're not superheroes. They're vigilantes.
They're kind of
So
anti-heroes.
So yeah, nobody. Mr. Manhattan is the only one that has powers, and he's on Mars yet. So so he's gone. So it's a lot of fun in that way, in that it's still kind of, and they're trying to base a few things, on actual history, which is cool as well. And then I also got a trial on Plex, so some newer movies were able to show up, and I was finally able to see Birds of Prey.
Oh my God, did you like it?
You know what? No, because I have because the minute a person pauses, that means, well, then you didn't. Okay. Yeah, it was fun, but
yeah,
it was fun in the way that it felt like it was Tank Girl in DC land. I mean, I felt like it was just Tank Girl today. Yeah, the behind the, the narrating, the scenery, how the nutsy, how character it was. I guess it wasn't as fun as I was hoping it would be. I thought it was just a little too kidsy for me. I don't know.
Wow, kidsy. I don't think it was kidsy at all, but I enjoyed it. But then, it's kind of more about like girl power that isn't like normal.
Well, no, hey, and I'm all about that. Hey, the boys thing, the girl power on there, like, well, that's all great, So no, it's not that, but it wasn't that part. I mean, I liked the group that left more than I liked the Harley Quinn part of it, I guess. You know what I mean? The Canary and the her side crew.
Oh, okay, you're talking about her crew.
Right, her crew, which again, it's like really, since I've really gotten DC's Stargirl, that they did a good job with the whole crew and the Stargirl. I guess maybe I like her better than, thought she commanded even more attention and better command of the show than Harley did. And then I also had to check out Joker.
Okay.
The new one.
All right, I'm going to tell you what my original thought on Joker was when I walked out of the theater, because we did see it in the theater.
And you walked out?
No. When I left,
after it was over,
okay. I went, I hate it. Joaquin Phoenix deserves an Oscar. That was so brilliant that I just walked out like not feeling good. And that's exactly what you needed to do, is you needed to walk out of that movie not feeling good, because it's not a feel-good movie.
I know, and I get that. And again, Tom Cruise gets knocked around as an actor all the time, but Born on the 4th of July moved me, and with him, so so I he did a good enough job Born on the 4th of July for me that I don't knock him as an actor at all. And Joaquin Phoenix, love him, Gladiator, all the stuff he does, brilliant actor. I'm not going to take anything that away from that. I didn't like the movie. I guess I didn't like the movie. The acting, fine.
I'm stunned that you didn't like it.
Where was he pulling the psychosis from? Too many roads on why the psychosis was there, and too many different reasonings, and it felt like what's that movie where Jerry Lewis gets kidnapped by what's his name?
Haley. I don't remember which movie that was.
This is Calabash.
Oh my God, we're old.
I love Jerry Lewis. But yeah, King of Comedy or something, I think it was called. I think it was De Niro. Actually, did he or somebody? It wasn't De Niro was the guy in this one, Joker. But no, someone kidnapped Jerry Lewis, who was like the Johnny Carson type person that De Niro was in this one. So yes, Joaquin Phoenix, love him, but I'm sorry. I'm going to give it back to Heath Ledger. I'm going to give it back to Heath Ledger, and his portrayal of Joker is still, to me, by the top one on the list. There.
So my feeling is Heath Ledger's Joker is probably the one that will be everybody's favorite, and it is brilliant. But the thing about Joaquin Phoenix Joker is that, from reading online and people who have different disorders and stuff, they said that's exactly what it's like. They said that's exactly what the system is like. That's exactly what it feels like. I felt like he was portraying, parts of me. So he did his due diligence and, his psychosis and neurotic weirdness and all the strangeness that leads to the genesis of the Joker was spot on for people who have mental health issues. And I think, while it may not be a classic comic book Joker, it definitely feels like something where you feel like this person could wind up being a serial killer because of all the things that happened. And so it's like, it just felt very real to me, which is why I hated it. But then it also felt very real to me, which was why I thought it was brilliant.
And again, that part of it's lost on me. I guess I guess like anything, you start out with the psychosis. How does it get worse? How does it manifest? And if you're bumping into situations all day where things are never positive for you, I can understand that going on. But again, I guess I don't know the background of how hard it is to, get through this, and that nobody cares. And if you finally do have a problem, they don't want to talk to you anymore,
Well, yeah, and the thing is he finally snapped. And
right.
He just finally, that was it. And he just realized, hey, I don't have to deal with this anymore. I can be this alter ego. And he was already having those weird hallucinations in his mind, and he just made them like real.
We have there's a real balancing act that we're working on, a tightrope, just like all the other tightropes that we're walking these days, is mental health and rights. How often in the last, you talk about BLM, put that one aside, how many times when that person was shot, or we've had a person being shot, is, well, they knew he had mental problems.
Well, and see, that's just it.
The one that doused the lady on fire. The guy that doused the lady on fire mistakenly as he thought it was his cousin. It wasn't. It was just some random woman. Then he went and tried to burn 2 other things, and the guy was running around in a rental car. Okay, now that's what I'm like, okay, wait a minute. And everybody says he's got mental problems. So everybody knows he's got mental problems. He's out, and his mental problems aren't bad enough that he was still able to have a credit card, and can rent a car, and I'm like, but he's also psycho enough that he's dousing people on the street with gas and lighting them on fire. So where can we thought police this guy a little bit more?
You can't because
where's the Minority Report on this one? How do we can't, because we got to let them go. We can't lock them up anymore. We can't give lobotomies. We can't force feed their drugs to them like we could, like.
But why would you want to? I mean, these are still human beings, and you can't treat them. People who have health issues, you cannot treat them lesser than. You have to give them value and worth, and work with them and support them. And yeah, some of them do horrible things, but they do them because they're not right in the head, and so we need a support system that can work with that. But this is critical stuff, and we're actually in food and movies and fest, so much. And you're getting all heavy.
Over to Smiley Campus now that we've not solved the world's mental problems.
We have not solved.
Let's go camping then.
We went camping, yeah, and that was actually Mental Health Day. So we went camping. It is definitely fall, because while I was camping, guess what the overnight lows were? Just take a wild guess.
45.
Oh no, 37, 38. Fortunately, we had a heater for the tent. We still got awful cold, and going pee at 1:30 in the morning outside.
Right next to the VCR and the TV and the coffee maker, the cappuccino maker.
No, we went tent camping. We don't have an RV or a fifth wheel. We went tent camping because we actually go real camping, not pseudo camping.
Right.
To all you people who do your RV, I understand, I get it, but we do.
I can do a tent, but I do need an air mattress.
Oh yeah, we had the air mattress, and we brought our cook stove, and we bought our LED lanterns, so we had light. But we had some wicked fires going. But yeah, I highly recommend people get out in nature, because it was really nice. The days were beautiful that were beautiful, And so fall's here, so let's go do some cool stuff.
Any critters come into the tent or come
No,
through
but we saw lots of cool critters. We did see some does with her little babies, and we saw black squirrels, we saw red squirrels, and we saw gray squirrels. So we saw all the cool squirrels, and we saw pileated woodpecker.
Black squirrels aren't that unusual, I guess. First time I saw one, I was like, "Is that a black squirrel?" And I guess apparently they're not that unusual.
Yeah, and we saw several eagles. So there you go.
Did you know there used to be a squirrel migration through Wisconsin? I looked it up.
I did not know. That's cool.
But that's why a lot of the black ones are gone, because that was the ones that migrated, and people would kill them as they'd come through. It'd be like, the
Sounds about right.
pigeon thing, It was time to do that, Just keep shooting them. There's so many. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right. A couple little things, just blurpy. I had a blurpy that Preem found on the beach. Were you following on?
Yeah, I'm sitting there, I'm running through Reddit, and it's like, what is this? And apparently it's not a human brain. It was like a small animal, like a cat or something.
Yeah. But the money, they didn't talk about the money wrapped in it. And, it's like, so I guess, like I said, this still opens up many, many questions.
Yeah, they're saying that it may have been like an Asian thing, that it's like a ritual, like a funerary ritual. Asian people do this, so it's like, that's cool. I mean, honoring your animal.
Sure. The old Viking push the float, the canoe out and light the arrow and on fire.
But apparently you take the brain out and give it some money.
Cat brain and foil and money. That's
whatever works. Oh my God. So what'd you all do? What do you got?
All right. Well, yeah. One of the things, and again, because it's all COVID related, a guy, the Bellevue Suite is a guy in guitar who I used to work with. He was a lot attendant for us back in the old Kittner days. He works with Disturbed as a guitar tech, so if you hear Sound of Silence from Disturbed, watch a live version. He's probably up on stage. Actually, in the back.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he comes to Roost every once in a while. Bellevue Suite is the old band he used to have back in the day with Michael Shawn. Michael Shawn still stays around here all the time. You see him at the casino. In Imperial Fall, I met the lead singer of that guy recently. It's kind of funny, Paul. People who know him, again, is mild-mannered guy, and it's like if you go up and one of those guys where he's a rock and roller, and all of a sudden you hear him sing, it's like, oh yeah, the guy's a teacher, a dad, by weekend. So it was kind of funny, when you see that guy, people our age still doing the rock and roll thing, or maybe a little younger, okay? Or
I think there's some of them older than us, like Iggy Pop.
Maybe I think I'm their age, I want to be their age is what it is. But here we were kind of worried about seeing bands, like anything, but it was because it was a Paulie's bar, but they had it out in the parking lot, which is nice. And we got there, they said bring your own chairs if you want, because it's in the parking lot. We got there, they had a couple picnic tables set up. Farther away from the band, so Chrissy and I sat there. Nobody came around us except the waitress. But time and time again, here what we're seeing is this whole bar area, and here's a guy, hugging, no masks, to two girls, no masks. Walks over, we see him hugging and kissing, another people. And then you're drinking beers, and then you're spitting because it's loud, because it's the band's on. I can just tell people are getting spit on their ears from beer drinking and loud music, and nobody's bumping elbows.
This is my dramatic eye roll.
Yeah, it's just like people, please. I sit there and I laugh and watch the band. Chrissy gets appalled and can't do anything.
See, that's why I went camping.
So as much as they wonder why we're at our record amount of COVID cases right now. We wonder why.
Right.
Because everybody says, why have we been panicking? We shouldn't panic. Well, there you go. Here's not panicking, folks. There you go.
Well, see, there you go. So internet adventures. Here, we're actually going to do the bubbles today. How come the bubbles aren't going? There's the bubbles. All right, cool. So, there's Dave drinking water.
I figured it'd be on you, while you're chatting.
No, I was gonna ask you, Do you have any favorite old websites from way back when?
Yeah, LimeWire.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm talking about like old, like things that you used to look at. So, there's a web archive called I think it's archive.org, but it's called the Wayback Machine, and basically you can go on there and you can click on a date, like if you have a website that you're interested in seeing. Oh, I remember back in the, I mean, I think my website goes back to like 1996 or
Oh, so
1997.
like before, if they made updates to it, it would look like the retro version
No, no,
or
no, no,
whatever.
no. So these are actual web shots of when archive.org would crawl the web. So there's actual, but so they have been around for quite some time, but they have teamed up with Cloudflare. Now, Cloudflare is an enterprise security and like web server company. They work with businesses. But what they've done is they've teamed up with archive.org or the Wayback Machine. So there are companies that are going to work with them, and if the internet goes down, you'll be able to view their website. So I thought that was really cool because
Oh,
you know how you'll be like, ah, damn, I wanted to look up that information because I need that information. Well, now it won't seem like the internet goes down, for that, particular company. They'll actually still have content, which I thought was really kind of cool. But then I did want to ask you, what kind of old content would you be interested in looking at? I mean, is there like an old band who might have had a website way back in the day?
gosh, I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's to me, I'm always looking up my antiques, and stuff like that. That's all I'm trying to ever find
Ah,
is old pictures that way. But but no, I mean, I guess it's like what anything. It says if I didn't know I could go do that, I probably, if I knew I could do that, I probably would be doing that more.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of like it's one of those things that I don't think a lot of people know about. Because I know I would go back every now and then and look at my old websites. What I did notice is that they used to have photos, and now they don't have the photos they used to have anymore. So
You're blocked out or something.
I
Yeah.
think they're not available or something. It's just really strange, but it is cool because then I can go look at my old prices. It's like, oh geez, I was making some money back then. Um, but
Oh,
yeah,
I
so.
was making some money. Oh.
So speaking about connectivity, being able to be on the internet, do you know what a mesh network is?
No idea.
Okay, so a lot of people don't know what a mesh network is. Basically, what a mesh network is you have a bunch of local users that start pinging and using. It's almost like
They make
like
one big supercomputer out of
yeah,
it.
it's kind of like
Isn't
group
that what
computing.
Bitcoin at the beginning when they'd let you if Bitcoin it
That's
would give you
different. Oh,
Bitcoin
you
if
would mine for bitcoins. Yeah, no, it's
yeah
it's not quite like that, but so what you do is you basically connect computers and whatnot, but you have to be like in a local area, and you
right
create a robust internet, and it can actually be faster than like sometimes your commercial internet that you might have like Spectrum or
yeah I was given
AT&T.
man that was many years ago but I was sent something maybe by Quora or something like that that would you be interested in sharing computers with other people
Yeah.
just to run background stuff
Yeah,
and I
that's
was
more like folding at home.
oh,
That's like for science and stuff like that. But yeah, you can do that too. But so what they're doing is it's called mkemesh.org or Milwaukee Mesh. They're going to start up a mesh network in Milwaukee, and they're starting mostly in the east side and downtown, but they're going to start working their way out. So if it's something that you're interested in, it's a little bit more robust internet. And of course, once you have that going, you're not paying for your internet anymore. So that's kind of cool. But it's like that's the nerdness on my part. Now you got more fun stuff on your part.
yeah this is one of those ripped from the headlines for me. Um, so Chuck E. Cheese is in bankruptcy right now. All right, and COVID certainly hasn't helped anybody.
Oh my God, I'm just shocked.
so Chuck E. Cheese is in bankruptcy. Well, they're asking the court to release 7 billion Chuck E. Cheese tickets that value $9 million that are sitting in containers that were they're All right. So what
Okay.
happened is that before bankruptcy, they made an order for these tickets, right? Make them, they get boxed. Bankruptcy hits, they get to here, they're stopped at port. Boom, bankruptcy. So for the last year or whatever, and in the meantime, they've been moving to, of course, like Dave and Buster's, more the cards, not tickets, right?
Oh
Don't
yeah,
waste
yeah.
paper, and so they just do it's all on a card. So they're doing e-cards now. So they don't even need the tickets anymore. But of course, you have to, people were saving up tickets, so you got to still acknowledge them and accept them, to a certain time, right? Because people like wait, if you want to get that guitar for 7 million
I
tickets,
don't have any 9-year-olds. I haven't had a 9-year-old for over 30 some years.
well, people can hold on to tickets, to try to build up more prizes. Now, so now they're petitioning the court to let them pay $2.3 billion, because the court's got to say it's okay to spend money, so that they can destroy the tickets because they don't want them going into someone else's hands.
Oh
So
my God, that's weird.
this is a movie. Come on now, this is a movie. A bunch of kids.
A
here
made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, a bunch of kids hear about a stash of Chuckie Cheese tickets that are unused, and there's a deadline because they are going
And
to
they
eat
break
tickets.
into customs on the coast and steal them?
Well,
Okay.
and when I started explaining this, Chrissy was the same way. Well, you can't have kids breaking the law, and I'm like, okay, so we rewrite a little bit. It fell off a truck. I don't know, but we can put it somewhere where it's not down on the wharf, maybe the tickets or whatever. They're in a storage house or locker or somewhere, that the kids have. And it's just, come on, Ocean's. It's got to be like Ocean's 10-year-olds or something.
Wow, Dave. Dave's doing this. I'm reaching.
Hey, it's a good movie. I still think it'd be a funny movie, Chuckie Cheese Tickets, the heist.
You know what you need to do is you need to get, some of that clay and make it like stop action. Like, oh, Mr. Bill.
Yeah. But think about that. Again, they want to destroy them because they do not want them getting out.
Well,
that's
yeah,
the whole
I
thing.
mean.
But who's the guy that's coming in with $1 million? The pallet, beep beep beep, up to Chuck E. Cheese. With yeah, I got my tickets here.
All right, Dave's gone off the deep end, everybody. Dave has really gone off the deep end.
The last thing I was going to do, the next thing I had was, Dave, have I done a Google update telling you where I'm at for numbers and everything like that?
What was that?
My contribute. Remember my pictures on
Yeah.
Google?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Where are you at?
501 photos, 2.2 million views.
You're better than my Pinterest. My Pinterest went down from 60,000 to 50,000 because I haven't been using it.
And still the top one is 630. I've got Andy's gas station at 123,000.
You've got to be kidding me. Which
No.
Andy's?
I mean, it's funny in some of these things. Andy's, like I said, Andy's gas station. Campbellsport True Value, 115,000 views. I took a picture of the Bill Emerson Memorial Bridge when I was down in Missouri. That's got 100,000 views. The Bargain Center thrift store. This is the one that was my first one that's caught fire. 99,000 views for a little thrift store.
Well, there you go.
What's kind of been funny is that in the last year, I've had 3 people that have talked to people that know me, my daughter, Chrissy, and said, hey, I was looking at this place and I think your dad's face was on it when it came up. And I'm like, yes.
That's funny.
The honey dip donuts somebody did. Someone was doing at a restaurant. We weren't sure what restaurant. I had a Santa hat on, and then my daughter saw someone too. But I'm like, hey, I'm getting around. All right.
Dave's trying to be famous. This is how he's getting internet famous. It's not through this. It's through his photos.
My 15 minutes spread out over my life.
There you go. All right. So we have, is this critical? Oh my goodness.
That
Well,
should be bubbles for sinking ships.
it should be bubbles for sinking ships. So yeah, Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away on Friday. This sucks.
I text you and will say that nowhere is people collectively typed fuck at one time. No,
I know.
People. And that's exactly. Chrissy was right next to me when I told her that she told that meme, and she goes, "That's what you did." And I go, "What?" You went, "Oh my gosh, fuck."
Yeah. Yeah. So is this critical? Yes, it is, because the Republicans would not let Obama.
11 months.
11 months. Merrick Garland, who was a Republican pick that he was going to put
he
forth.
actually thought he was doing a good job. He actually thought, here's someone to like.
He thought he was reaching across the aisle and making a compromise, and, the good old Republicans blocked that. But, hey, we don't even have a cold, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Let's start talking about replacing her.
Well, yeah, this ain't going to happen. Again, and they're going to say, well, nominate. Well, yeah, you can nominate whoever you want, as many as you want. The fact that they're going to get through the whole thing in the next 2 months isn't going to happen.
Oh, they'll fast track it if they can. They'll break every law.
Well, yeah. Well, again, that's right. For their not again, I don't like what you're doing unless I get to do it.
Well, see, that's just it. There's 2 sets of rules, and everybody needs to go out and vote, because we can flip the Senate. If Biden gets in and we win 4 seats in the Senate, we flip the Senate. And then we'll have a Democratic president, a Democratic House, and a Democratic Senate, or at least a 50-50 Senate in which the Democratic vice president is the tiebreaker. And so we need to flip the Senate, because then we can get all the evil motherfuckers out of there. Sorry.
People are afraid when you say stuff like that. Let them all control the whole thing. People get just as afraid with that.
But look, Obama had a Democratic Senate, a Democratic House, and they had the executive branch, and they didn't go and
it didn't blow up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, they didn't go salted earth, I'll tell you right now, like the Republicans have, and it's awful. I mean, they tried to reach across the aisle, and things are not like that now. I don't know who's paying who. Somebody's paying Mitch McConnell, and he's a puppet, because people are saying, get Mitch McConnell out of there. You know what? It's not Mitch McConnell, because whoever you have as the Republican House Majority Leader is going to do what he's paid to do. And there are people who are paying him that aren't American taxpayers.
Well, there's already a couple Republicans that are already not going to go with it, and so like I said, I don't really think it'll have traction. So
I hope not, but it's like you know how some people are. You see their lips moving.
Hey, I also said no. I know he's won a couple states, but he ain't gonna be president. That was the guy who said that all night.
Yeah, exactly. So talking about more political stuff. Evers
did he asked for the resignation and he got it. Is that firing?
I would call that firing him, yeah. Yeah, I would call it firing him. But yeah, so the Department of Workforce Development Secretary is out.
Yeah, that'll make things go quicker.
Well, the thing is there's over 700,000 claims that are still left.
Backlogged. I know they have a terrible backlog.
Yeah. But the thing is I don't know if anybody knows what COBOL is. COBOL. Do you know what COBOL is?
That's an old computer thing, isn't it?
It is an old computer language from, guess when? The 50s and 60s. That's what most of the unemployment, software in a bunch of states, not just ours, that's what it's running on. And Walker wanted to just tear this down and not do anything with it, and he wanted to gut pretty much the unemployment budget, and so we've never upgraded. And guess what? Now we're in the middle of a pandemic with
this isn't this guy's fault. I just don't see it as this guy's fault. I mean, I can look at. Well, nobody's prepared for this, dude. Come on.
Well, but the thing is,
there wasn't a class when it says taking care of 1 million people a month. That just all of a sudden that no class or preparation can give you that.
We don't know what kind of discussions he's had with this person, and I don't know who appointed this person's secretary. So if he was from the Walker administration or from maybe even 3 administrations back, who knows? This should have been something that everybody should have pushed for to fix, and hopefully going forward it does get fixed. But I mean, Evers had to do something. The Republican legislature won't even come back to even let them, talk about anything. It's like they gavel in and gavel out every single time, so they can't get anything done anyway. So
we also lost, just to remind me, that Jeanette girl that's been our CDC girl, that Jeanette.
in Milwaukee, yeah,
Yeah.
because of her being a person of color, she got all sorts of harassment, and that's why she left.
And she's going to Washington where she can make a difference, actually, and that's
I hope so.
Probably good. And and I'm going to keep my eye on her, not only because she's very cute, but also because...
Did you really have to go there? Oh my God.
She was. And then
and then he doubles down. This is the hill he dies on.
Smart. When there's a smart, it's all about her brain. That's why.
Sure. Now he tries to fix it.
All about her brain. That's
we're gonna help Dave get his foot out of his mouth. Okay, so UW-Madison, they went to online courses amid soaring COVID cases. Geez, I don't know. Let's see. First they had frat houses and sororities.
Herding cats.
Yeah, frat houses and sororities that they had to put on quarantine, and then now it's pretty much everybody, and it's like stupid. I mean, did they really think any of these colleges that went back to in person? And even
they're
any
sending them home like they shouldn't be doing. We don't have all right, well, you're staying in here now,
Yeah, now they're sending them home. It's stupid. But
meanwhile,
I'm getting an echo.
Are you?
Yeah, it was probably from you. We're gonna blame that on Dave. Yeah, and so the Big Ten is gonna move ahead with football right after they announced that 42 Badgers players and staff came down with COVID and tested positive. That's about the only response for that.
Yeah. Hey, baseball, they nipped it in the bud. I mean, the NBA did a good job. We all know that. And
Formula One did an excellent job.
And MLB had a stumble, but they've pretty much held it together ever since then. So everybody buckled down on it. So let's just hope the football season stays all right.
I hope so. Formula One did a really good job. They've been going for 3 months. One driver came down with COVID because he broke the bubble. And then there was one of the staff on one of the teams came down with COVID, but he wasn't on the circuit that was traveling because they've been traveling Europe. I mean, they've gone all over Europe, and now we're coming up to a triple header. And so far so good with Formula One, and I hope they keep it up that way because I really like watching racing. So, yeah. So are you Catholic?
No.
Neither am I. Which releases us from responsibility of grave sin. You know that, right? Because Jerome Listeck, the Catholic Archbishop, says that dispensation has ended and that if you don't attend in-person Mass, you are committing a grave sin.
So they got to pass the plate around again. The coffers must be getting empty.
Something. You know what I wrote online? You know what's a grave sin? Having people gather during a global pandemic.
You know what a grave sin is? Is ending up in the grave because you thought you were sinning.
There you go. And the thing is if you actually read the Bible doesn't say that you're supposed to go to Mass. The Bible says you should actually worship in person and read the Bible and do.
Where any more than two or more are gathered. Two or more are gathered is a church. That's they said. So that's all you're supposed to need.
Yeah, well, apparently if you don't get all their...
I usually like Listeck too, but this is wrong.
Yeah, well, he went and visited Kenosha, and he went and visited the places that Trump visited rather than actually visiting people who needed it. So it's like that didn't make me too happy either. So I don't know. It's like I'm not going to go there because it's like I'm not Catholic. People who are Catholic can deal with it. I just thought that was horrible to try to get people use their Catholic guilt to come back to church. It's like, if you're high risk, do not go to church.
Catholics have.
Yeah, I had to cure my husband of that. Thank you very much. So what do you got going on here? Apparently you don't believe that 9/11 happened?
No, I'm trying to picture if Trump was in office when these other tragedies went on, how he would have kept calm the nation, like he's been keeping it calm now.
Oh, I see. Now I get it.
Right. So not telling us the full problems that COVID could give us, that it was worse than the flu, and he understood it to be worse than the flu, while he was telling us it wasn't.
You said he understood
for us.
You're giving him a whole lot of credit for understanding, because I don't think he
he's doing that for us. Now, my question also is to all you people on Facebook that perpetuated this lie of it not being a bad thing. Were you also trying to keep us calm? Were you all in cahoots? Did you all talk to each other and said, I'm going to help keep America calm by downplaying the COVID and saying that it's wrong and it's false and it's fake? Was that what you were doing? Or were you just a puppet of your president with his hand up your ass? Because that's what it really was. Just remember, just you spouting out what the president was saying, which we all were saying was wrong, and even he knew it wrong. So there you go right there for that. So now, if he was the president during these other things, I'm sure like during 9/11, he'd have come on there and said, yeah, there were a couple of big, huge planes that bumped in, made big dents in the big towers, the huge towers that we have, the towers. There's been a little scrapes, but nothing to worry about there. So was that what he would have said about that?
I don't know what he would have said, but you sound like a
now,
all
the mass shootings that we get, the mass shootings, he's just going to say, oh, there were some unfortunate gun discharges in a school today, Is that how he would have addressed that? How about a plane crash? Oh, it's just an unscheduled, non-controlled landing. This is the kind of stuff that I expect from him now.
Yeah, but he doesn't talk like that. He talks in like repeated weird sentences and fragments of sentences, and there are people who actually think, psychologists and whatnot, who think that he has dementia and that he has other issues, that he is unfit for presidency. So I don't know what he would have said.
Democrats will lay waste to your cities, but I don't want to. I'm trying to keep you calm now. I don't want to,
Yeah, no, he doesn't ever keep me calm. I can't even watch him. He's so punchable. I mean, he really is. Like, he's beyond punchable, but it's like I can't watch him. I literally can't even listen to him.
That's my whole point again, really, and all that was the president lied to you people that kept on saying this thing was fake. You fell for his lie. You were not doing that to perpetuate calmness in our nation. You weren't. You were just to be, I'm a dick, I'm going to be behind my president, even though he's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm a racist.
There's a whole lot of cognitive dissonance going on.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I went up and saw my folks, going from Oshkosh to Berlin, and all the signs, the Trump Biden signs. And I'm sorry, and this is my fault, and it's my problem, and I have to get over it. But they look like, every time I see a Trump Biden, I think it's a rebel flag. It looks like a rebel flag to me.
Oh, then you know what you do when you see a Trump sign, right? You give it finger juice. Finger juice.
Yeah, I got a whole handful of those I give them, yeah.
Yeah, no. It's finger juice.
It's a whole flock of these right there.
Yeah, finger juice. I was like,
yeah.
Yep, I go by and give them all finger juice.
That's what they look like to me. Those signs look like nothing more than rebel flags to me now.
Yeah, no, they're pretty bad. And there's even people and they make them so big, some of these. It's like,
right. But that's all you see on the way up, because I'm up in the rural area,
Yeah.
Hey, why do you like him? Because he says what he means. Well, this is what he said. Well, he didn't mean that.
Dave's ranting, so let's let him have a MoKE moment. Come on.
All right. This is just a little bit about, whenever you try to get something done and you can't.
Oh, geez.
Waste management.
See, I never know what Dave's going to say, so.
Waste management. And this isn't too much of a rant, but waste management, they're the dumpsters. Everybody's got them at the apartment complexes, right? Waste management. They come in and they dump them. I flip an apartment, I fill these things up. So I try to call for an extra dump during the week so I can fill it up, and then all the tenants aren't a problem. Well, prior to it being the holiday weekend, I knew I was going to be filling this one. So I tried to get a hold. We share one with a neighboring apartment complex. I actually flagged down a woman that lives there, got the name of the guy who owns the place, called the guy. He gave me the name of the contact and his account number so that I could get an extra dump. I call the guy, leave a message in the morning, no return back. I'm like, all right. Next morning, call the guy back, call the guy again. Answer machine, no return. Noon, 1 o'clock, call the guy again, no response. Now, this is already, they come and pick up on Thursday, so it's like, am I going to get a dump before then or not? So now I'm back on to Thursday already, and now I'm like, well, I'm going to fill this up once they empty it. I need another pile of pickup on Sunday, or because Monday was the holiday, or Tuesday. So I call, and then I call the lady, and I go, listen, this guy's not getting back to me. Well, let me find your account. After going through everything, she says, well, no, this is somebody who's got your account. And I'm like, well, the guy told me this was the guy. And he goes, well, it isn't. It's this person. And I said, well, what's her phone number? Well, she only has an email. Please give me that. So I emailed the person. Say, please get back to me quickly if you can. I also said to her, well, I do need this picked up if I can by Friday. And she goes, well, you have to have 2 days in advance. We can't do it one day. And I said, well, if the guy would have called me back the first time, it would have been 2 days. So I'm like, okay. So I email her, nothing back. Email her again, nothing back. Once the holiday is over, Tuesday, she emails me back. Oh, sorry, I was on, vacation, whatever, out of office or whatever. Is there something I can do for you? Well, no, it's Tuesday. They pick up on Thursday. They already aren't going to pick up on Thursday because Monday was a holiday, so that means they're picking up Friday. It doesn't bother me to get you someone to pick up on Thursday because they're going to pick up on Friday. And I'm just like, no, you can't help me anymore now. And I said in an email, I went back to her, I go, is there anything I can do to help you now? No, there is not. I said, because, I need it. There's a 2-day. It's not going to happen. Hopefully they'll pick it up Monday. And I said, what would help me in the future, though, is if you could have an auto response that you're not in the office and who to contact if you're not there. All right. Now, I'm pissed because because the first guy that I left 3 messages on never called and said, hey, I'm not your guy. You know what I mean? Could you at least do that? I'm not your guy. Hey, Lido. So that was already pissed me off. And then this person was out, didn't give me an auto response of somewhere to get. Now, I know she's emailed me ever since, like I think 3 days in a row, hey, sorry about that. You're right. I'll do that in the future. Okay. That's all I can ask, I guess, right? Is that, if that ever happens again, that they have at least an auto response, that they're not in the office. But I'm just like, this is basic stuff for company and for people who are reps. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm not your rep. Here it is. Or at least have someone take care of your shit when you're gone. Everybody's got that,
Well,
hey,
there's some people who they just don't care. It's like, let's face it, they don't want to deal with it and they just don't care. So.
And then I can just see him sitting there, by the time I call the guy back, it'll be pick up already, And then I was there all day Friday, because if he's there and he dumps it and then brings it back down, you can throw stuff in and he'll dump it again. And I was there to 3 o'clock, and they usually get there by noon or 1. And I was there till 3 o'clock, and I had to run and get something. And 4:05, I came back an hour and 5 minutes later, and the garbage guy had come. And I'm like, ah!
Dave, you have first world problems. Oh, my goodness.
So, there's my vent for today.
Are you okay now?
Yes.
All right.
My cathartic couch time now. This is my couch time.
Yeah, I know.
This is why. See, if the Joker would have had something like this, that he could have just, talked out, this would have been fine.
So what do we say, Dave? It just doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
All right. Well, we got some Hip happening.
We actually have some things happening now because we're opening up due to COVID.
Yes, we do have some things. So, I guess they have a Dinosaur drive-through. Did you hear about this over at the
Yeah,
Waukesha
actually, I
Expo?
saw it on the news. I'm like, well, that's really cool. Not during the day though.
Yeah, and it's $49 per vehicle, and you have to buy the tickets online. You can have up to 8 people in the vehicle. So if you have a bunch of kids, it's fine. But
Yeah.
here we're having COVID, and the most like economic thing to do is cram everybody you know into the vehicle for
Yeah, yeah,
$40.
yeah. Pookie, Ray Ray, and them, and everybody get in the car. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
exactly, exactly.
But yeah, I
However,
saw that, and I'm like, they were really nice animatronics, and the guy even had like a little uh, dinosaur in his arm, like wrapped like a baby, and it was moving its face, and I mean,
oh,
it
that's
felt very
cool.
Jurassic Park. So I
That's
mean, it
cool.
was cool in that respect. But in the day in a parking lot, it just didn't have the same effect as hopefully floodlights at night, and
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
and I heard that the wait times are pretty long. So,
Oh, so
like
people
over
are
an
actually
hour.
going to it. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
people are going to it, and the thing is like you have kids in the car, and you have to keep them entertained for like an hour or 90 minutes waiting in
Oh, they
line.
got phones. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You ever been in a car with like 9-year-old kids for half an hour? No. No. So, anyway, the domes are going to reopen September 26th. You do need advanced registration required. Then you have something here about a murder mystery. So,
Right. They actually, and that's what the thing is. I was watching something where they were talking about the domes, and then the lady said, "Yeah, so you'll be able to do the murder mystery." And then they went back to the studio, and the guy, and he was like, "Murder mystery? Well, you buried the lead on that one. What is that?" So yeah, I believe they have some kind of murder mystery thing going on there too. You
oh,
know,
okay. Yeah, I didn't know about
which
that.
Right, which if you want me to throw in my thing, it's coming up. Tease it. I'm doing something like that. We'll get in that happenings coming too. So
Ah, cool. So are you a cream puff person or not a cream puff
yes,
person?
yes, I am. I think
Okay.
they're fair. Remember we talked about how dry they were, and it's still just a vessel to hold the cream.
Yeah, okay,
So
yeah, yeah. So they are doing pumpkin spice cream puffs at State Fair Park from October 1st to October 4th. You have to go on the originalcreampuffs.com. They are not doing the original cream puffs, they're only doing pumpkin spice. So if you're going to
oh,
buy them, you have to buy the pumpkin spice
because you
ones.
probably can't really eat more than one pumpkin spice one. I mean, because it's spice, pumpkin spice. I mean, you can only have so many pieces of pumpkin pie, right? I mean, you don't eat a whole pie.
Speak for yourself. No. So do you know that there is no pumpkin in pumpkin spice, right?
Yeah, what is it?
It's just the spices. It's like nutmeg and clove and
Right,
cinnamon
right,
and
right, right.
yeah.
Cinnamon,
But there's
right,
no
right.
pumpkin in pumpkin
There's no
spice.
ground pumpkins. No
Yes.
pumpkins were killed in the making of pumpkin
Exactly.
spice.
We slaughtered no pumpkins in the making of pumpkin spice. So and I know you probably went to Up and Under, didn't you?
I had been there, I think back in the day, but it's
Yeah,
been
me
a
too.
long time,
Yeah.
right?
Well, apparently they're closing permanently
Yeah.
September 27th. So get your cream puffs and your
See, a
and
place like that someone's going to buy that now and just be cheaper in it because of what happened, and hopefully be able to, know that nothing was going to happen in the beginning and be able to wait out the amount. But I
yeah.
just can't see that place turning into a cricket store. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I don't know. We'll see because that for people who don't know, there was like kind of like a music and kind of a music venue and bar. There are a lot of bands were there, so it's a
It
little
was,
piece of Milwaukee history going away,
yeah,
which kind of
yeah.
sucks.
That's what I was there for, a band. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I used to go there, and then this does not break my heart. I think this is the like cheesiest thing ever. The Tommy Bartlett Water Show, the ski show, is finally closing permanently
Yeah,
after
but
70
come
years.
on. You can't hope for something like that to go away. I mean, you're right. It is so cheesy, but they were packing them in all the way up till, right?
No,
I
they
mean,
weren't. People were saying that the shows have gotten worse and worse and worse, and they weren't
uh,
really packing them in. So I think it was time to retire that. I
well, I
know.
think they had a real big hit that time when Lake Delton blew its banks, and they were.
Yeah, I don't think that was it. I think it just got too cheesy. and I'm not a. I love the area of the Dells, it's gorgeous. They have ruined it by making it a tourist trap, and that started way before I was born. So.
Right. Maybe they need to bring. We got the Fonzie in Milwaukee. Maybe we can get Fonzie to come in and go over the ramp again over a shark
and jump the shark. Yeah,
jump the shark.
You've jumped the shark a few times in this show, just so you know. So I don't know how weird you think fall will be. I mean, because it's like now we're talking about closings. I mean, what about haunted houses and craft fairs? I mean, it's going to be strange with COVID, don't you think? Because they're not going to have.
I think people are going to keep on trying to do it. They're going to do it in the parking lots. They're going to try to make the places, their booths farther apart.
We'll see, because there's no Fright Hike in Lapham Peak. There's going to be no Maker Fair. There's a bunch of other craft fairs and whatnot that aren't going on. I mean, but you have some stuff listed that's going on.
Right,
so
right. That's why I was kind of like, it's like every time we're losing one's coming up too, or small, or a different version of it, I guess, is really what it is. So, but yeah, something to do. One of the things that, just to come back, what I was doing, there's a wizardry, and where did I put my words to that?
The Witchcraft, Wizardry, and Outdoor Escape Game.
Yeah. So we're going to try to do that on Saturday, and it's not, there it is. It's right by Forrest Fenn. Yeah. Oh, why did I put him there? Yeah. But I know I put him there because it's a fine thing. It is. It's an escape game type of thing. So I don't know what to expect. But it was $50 again, up to 6 people for a ticket. And they're going to give you clues. And you pick up and you walk around the city and do it. So you don't have to be next to someone or anything like that. So
yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. So and that's what we're going to do that for our Halloween. Now. The reason I put the Forrest Fenn Rocky Mountain Treasure there is because we're going for treasure. This originally was a pirate thing we were going to do. Last weekend they had one of these, but it was really rainy that weekend, the 19th.
Did we talk like a pirate day?
Yeah, we did. Yes. I hit my parents up when I saw them over the weekend. But talking about doing scavenger hunts, escape rooms, whatever. Forrest Fenn was the guy that put a treasure, $2 million treasure in the Rocky Mountains, and then gave a clue to where they were. And over the last 10 years, 6 people have died actually looking for this thing. Now, a couple months ago, maybe like in the beginning of January, February, March, something like that, somebody, he said that a guy actually found the treasure. And he said, but the guy doesn't want to be known who it is. He wants to stay anonymous. But he had some photos of the treasure as it appears, tarnished in an old box that it was in, and he had told the guy, yeah, that's the contents. And the guy, no person never came forward. Now, one of the ladies whose husband died think it's all BS, and she thinks that there was never ever a treasure, and that never had a good clue.
Okay.
And that she wants to sue him for her husband's death as a result of him looking for this treasure. He died of hypothermia out there. But now, to complicate things, Forrest Fenn just passed away.
Okay.
So no more knowing what really happened unless the other guy, the anonymous guy who they don't know, comes forward that found the treasure. Will that taking it to the grave. This is that whole thing, like, where's Jimmy Hoffa buried?
Yeah, I don't think that's something we're ever going to know.
Exactly. So I just had to throw that in for a treasure thing because I was interested in that because it was just something I had been watching for years, and then just kind of put a little tombstone of his own on that one.
Little Halloween there.
But yeah, there were also, that's why I threw it on. I know the East Side Art Market was a maker market type thing, they said.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to the grocery store and I'm going to do my essential shopping. That's it.
Right. Well, but most walks, if they're outside and everybody's wearing masks.
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
I can entertain myself endlessly at home.
Do you think they're going to pass? Do you usually pass out candy where you are? Do kids come to the door?
Okay, so let's talk about Halloween real quick, even though it's not a hip happening. So when we do Halloween, I decorate and everything. In fact, my house looks really cool. But you know what? We don't have that many kids up and down the street. This year we have a few more. They never come to my door anyway. We used to give out big candy bars. I used to buy full-size candy bars, like full-size Milky Way, full-size Snickers, the real good stuff. They don't come to my door. So guess what? You kids have lost out because the kids in the past never came to my door because we live in an apartment complex and people don't want to knock on the door of an apartment complex.
Oh my gosh, that's the one place you want to go. You can do less walking and more.
Right, you have more volume. That's what we did when we were kids. We went to the apartment complexes because you could hit 20 doors in like 5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, we were talking about that and how, handing out candy and everything like that. And if they were actually Milwaukee's going to have a Halloween, I mean, we don't even know if it's actually on yet, right? I mean,
no, probably not, but we'll see.
I don't know. I'm wondering. But I was sitting here with Christy and I'm like, we need to make something like we had just watched Gene Wilder in. Willy Wonka.
Oh, okay.
So he had the incredible gobstopper machine, right? And it had the little gobstopper came out on the end. And I'm like, we need to make like a conveyor belt or something that we can like maybe crank or something. And I'm like, no, let's build a slide. I'm like, I'll get a piece of PVC pipe. I'll cut it in half. We'll sit up on the porch. I said, I've got a box. We're gonna be opening a refrigerator box tomorrow. I'm gonna get a box. We'll put some stuff on the outside. Maybe we'll be able to put a blanket over the top so we can make the things go up and down inside as we walk in the back to the front, and then we'll go to the front and dump the candy out, and the kid can just be underneath there, and it'll go right in with his thing under the slide.
There you go. Now we're gonna you have to title this episode Dave's Shower Thoughts.
To my what?
Shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts?
Yeah, these are all your shower thoughts.
But it would, instead of like the gobstopper, everlasting gobstopper, that would be my everlasting goblin stopper.
Ooh. See? Shower thoughts.
I'll be able to paint it black, and I can put some stuff on it. And then, so after I told Chrissy that, of course, now a guy on the news had one he set up, and Chrissy sent me one. Somebody did a mummy version with dangling rags on it and everything, a shoot. So I'm like, everybody else got we all collectively had this idea at one time, a bunch of us.
That's how it works. Ever see those movies? It's like everybody has like the same movie at the same time. It all has the same premise, and like 2 or 3 movies will all come out within like a year and a half of each other, all with the same premise. It's like, yeah. So there you go. You're in that what would you say? That club now. Yay. Well, I'm going to end with some pearls of wisdom here. We're going to bubble our way through the pearls of wisdom. So, yeah. You watch Buckaroo Banzai?
I have watched it from time to time. Yeah, it's good as Buck Rogers. It's just as good as Buck Rogers, So
yeah. So I don't know anybody who's familiar with Buckaroo Banzai, and I don't know if this is the origin
in the what dimension?
Oh, geez. Well, I remember the black and the red Lectroids. Anyway, so they say no matter where you go, there you are. So 2020's been pretty much a shit show. So it's kind of like. And it doesn't matter where you go, there you are, because you're always there with yourself. So we all got to kind of take this time to reflect and be the best people we can be, because no matter where you go, there you are. So that's kind of like, I mean, we're talking about, I'm going camping or you're going to do these things. It's like, that was a fun movie to watch, but at the end, they all wound up in the same place with themselves. So it's like, it's like, we've got to stick together and be good to each other, but you have to be good to yourself. So that's kind of my pearl of wisdom for today. I grabbed that from sci-fi and weirdness.
Buckaroo Banzai.
Yes. And I highly recommend it. It's a campy old film, and
definitely fun. I was trying to think who's in there in the background where you see someone like Ron Howard's brother or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of people. Jeff Goldblum's in that. Peter Weller. There's John Lithgow. I mean,
that's
got a brilliant cast. Yeah. Yeah, it's got a brilliant cast. It's so tongue in cheek and so goofy, and that the walk at the end where they're playing the music. It's like it's the best.
Oh, so the speaking of great movies we like and everything, and just the closing thing that they did that table read for Princess Bride, brought in lots of money for Milwaukee area, Wisconsin, or whatever.
Yeah, for the Democrats. Yeah, and then they were supposed to do a Parks and Rec read as well. So
yeah, that's cool. That's
yeah,
cool.
super cool, super cool.
I like that.
So yeah, so that's
Inconceivable.
inconceivable. So yes, what are we? I think we're done. We are pretty much done. So, being done, we'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners, which we don't really have listeners, we have viewers. Maybe they turn the sound off. Who knows?
I don't think they watch us the whole hour. Come on now.
Come on now. So that's Dave's mom and my neighbor Pat. Who else would you want to say hi to?
Chrissy.
Hey, Chrissy.
Marianne.
Hey, Raj. Hey, Teresa. Anyone else who stumbled across us, if you like what you see, you tell two people so they can tell two people so they can tell two people. And then we have lots of people watching us so we can become internet famous like Dave on Google Photos. And, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hip.or.critical, right here. And then you can tweet me at Alexa_MKE. And Dave's Facebook is MoKE Milwaukee.
MoKE Milwaukee.
MoKE Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Yep.
Yeah, MoKE Milwaukee. And other than that, everybody needs to stay safe.
Stay safe.
Love you. And here's the Dave. Bye, Dave.
Hey, caught COVID in bed.
Oh my goodness.